Even though we here at Grandpa's Kitchen are moving to a more heart-healthy and diabetic-friendly diet, please understand that we are not experts in the health industry. So before taking any of our recipes or product recommendations to heart, make sure that it doesn't rail against your diet that has already been established. And if you're uncertain, please see your healthcare provider. Any type of changes in your diet could cause health complications and or death. So cook smart and eat smart. Today's episode brought to you by Nabisco's Redneck Oreos. Yes, Redneck Oreos made with Budweiser beer and classic winter green skull. So the next time you're having one of those adventurous moments, instead of trying to jump your wife's minivan with your 3 years old tricycle, pick yourself up some Redneck Oreos. Warning, excessive eating of this cookie can cause uncontrollable bouts of swearing and spitting. Please eat responsibly. And now on to our show! Welcome to Grandpa's Kitchen, starring Grandpa, Cousin Cletus, Cousin Elmo, and your host, J. Bob. And hi, welcome to Grandpa's Kitchen. I'm your country cousin and host, J. Bob. That's spelled J period B-O-B. Hi, and welcome. If you like what you see here, won't you think about subscribing and hit the bell icon so you can see future updates. If you got a comment, question, or even a recipe you'd like us to try, put it right down there in the comments section. Yeah! And if you saw at the beginning, we have a new disclaimer. Yes, we're moving in a new, hopefully more healthy direction. So, but don't be discouraged. A lot of these recipes you could use probably your standard products and still have good tasty stuff, alright? Well, seeing we're saying goodbye to 2023 and saying hello to 2024, we thought we'd go down memory lane and look at some of the old episodes. Like episode number 7. Many of us thought, is Grandpa and Lulu dating? Well, I think old Billy Bob over here found some evidence.
And when we get behind closed doors.
Billy Bob, I'll tell you what, wait till Grandpa sees this, he's gonna tan your hide. Good night. You can't unsee certain things. Woo! Any old hoot. While we're going down memory lane, can you remember back when it was episode 2 when Elmo started learning how to milk a cow and, well, that went pretty bad.
P.U.
Any old hoot in episode 3, Cletus got stuck cleaning him up. What we didn't know is when Cletus was out there cleaning all the cow manure off of Elmo, he took a video of it. Let's check it out.
I got the poo on me.
It's Elmo. At least he's clean and smelling better. Yeah. Any old hoot. Well, as we also look back on our Christmas episode, which was Christmas episode number 7, I think. Something like that. Any old hoot. Remember when we had Christmas and then Cletus got all that new cologne and perfumes or whatever it was, high karate brute. Well, that morning we went to a special service at the church. Grandpa made us all get cleaned up, and we went to the church service there at the local church. What we didn't know was we all got inside except for Cletus. He decided to hang back for some reason. All of a sudden we came in and all of a sudden this smell just permeated everywhere. What we didn't know was he decided to put all that cologne on at one time. Oh my goodness, he sat next to us and this is what happened to the guy behind us. Well, it's a good thing one of the sisters in the church had an EpiPen. Man, I tell you what, he swelled up like a pumpkin, didn't he? Any old hoot. Well, let's get on to what we're talking about today. We are going to start a 2 to 3 part series on food you can have while watching the games. Now, understand, if you're new to health complications, it can feel like you're on a football team, it's halftime, you're trailing by 3 touchdowns. what can you do? It's almost like you need someone to come and save you.
Remember when Bobby Boucher showed up at halftime and the Bud Dogs won the Bourbon Bowl, do you?
Talk about your trick plays. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta come in and you gotta just take the bull by the horn. That's right. I'll tell you what. Now, you shouldn't feel discouraged because things have changed. There are simple things that we can stack on. You know, that way we can win the game. All right, the first thing is most obvious. It's going to be what most healthcare providers are going to tell you in the first place. Eat raw vegetables, such as broccoli, carrot, cucumbers, green peppers. But you might say, well, they're kind of bland tasting. What can I do to make them better? Well, that's simple. Fat-free dressings. Now, fat-free dressings are good for you because they don't have any fat in them. What you got to watch out for, they do have sugar in them. So you don't want to get crazy with this because you really don't want to raise your sugar levels. Now, depending on your health conditions, you might be able to use this, might not. If you can, here's Hidden Valley, and here's another one. Wishbone Italian. Take it to make a choice between the two, and there you go. Now, there are going to be other things you're going to want to snack on. And what better way to do it is to do what like we do. We make our own stuff. Now, just give me a second. I forgot something. Right here is from July, my homemade salsa. The nice part about making your own homemade salsa or guacamole is that when you make it, it's all vegetables. Yes, sir. You can't beat good vegetables. Make it good and fresh. Then you can enjoy salsa and chips. Now, you're going to say, well, I can't have corn tortilla chips. Well, yeah, you can. You just got to use a little smarts about it. Most corn tortilla chips, you don't really want to go too far beyond a serving size, like 7 to 10 chips. What you do is you're not going to eat like this is a 16-ounce jar. I might have half at a time for a snack, which is 8 ounces. And then about them 7 to maybe 10 chips goes right with it. Tomatoes got a lot of fiber, so do the bell peppers. And the nice part is when you make it yourself, hey, you know what you put in. That way you ain't buying over-the-counter stuff that might have a lot of salt or sugar in them that you don't need. So think about making your own homemade salsa or even guacamole. Now, here's the last of the snacks that I'm going to recommend. All right? And it's just basic. It is still very Americana. How about nuts and seeds? Yes, sir, you can't go wrong with nuts and seeds. Like pistachios, or maybe some almonds, walnuts, yeah. But my favorite snacking nut is peanuts. Now make sure you get unsalted and enjoy these in between for snacks. Now, not like the other snacks are inferior, these are good, just basic, wholesome, good for you stuff that are okay to snack on the in-between. Grab a handful and enjoy. Now, let's get on to entrees. At some point, a snack is just not going to be good enough, and you're going to get into, depending on when the game is, you're going to want to have some kind of meal. Okay, the first thing you got to understand, what I'm going to recommend, is especially when you find out you're diabetic, bread all of a sudden becomes the enemy, and you can get as gloomy as this old cuss.
We forgot the taste of bread.
Don't feel like that, all right? Because you can. What I'm going to suggest next is more of an entree, what you would want to eat for a meal, okay? But with this does come some precautions, all right? So just listen real closely. If you want to have something that's more football, basketball, even baseball, what's the number one thing that a lot of people associate? Oh, hot dogs, or how about a sausage? Oh, that sounds so tasty. Well, here we go. you can have a hot dog now. Oscar Mayer turkey hot dogs. Now, these are really good. Believe it or not, they taste just like a pork hot dog, all right? But you don't have all that fat in them that make them unhealthy. And if you want, and you're wanting a sausage, several stores carry chicken sausages like this roasted garlic for Meyer. Now, these are real tasty. They're great grilled. Oh, woo, doggy. Have it with some fat-free cheese. But you're saying, wait a minute, you're going to want it on a piece of bread or a bun. Well, what can we do, J-Bob? Well, that's simple. Remember, it's halftime. We're going to win this game. Now, I'm not big on keto, but there are certain things from keto that do work. Like this Nature's Own keto bread. It's got some carbs in it, but it's got a lot of fiber in it. So the fiber will slow down the rate of it. So you can have your dogs on this keto bread, or even better, Lewis makes keto bread, but they also make keto hot dog buns. Now, you might be careful with these. These are higher carb, got more carbs in them than your traditional bread, like this one over here. So you may want to limit to one because of all the carbs, but it has a lot of fiber in it. All right, so now you can have it on a traditional hot dog bun, okay? So, depending upon your diet and what you're supposed to be doing, well, you can take it from there. Now, as I said, I'm not big on keto, but today's recipe that we got coming up is a keto hack. And once I did the figuring out, I'm like, yeah, we'll go with it. So, without any more jabbering at the jaws, good Lord, I can't even speak. Let's get to the cooking. All right, let's get started. Now, I haven't done this for a while, so we're going to do it now. Always make sure you have something cool to drink. That's it. Yeah, there we go. I'm having a Mountain Dew Zero. Oh, tasty, tasty.
Chug-a-lug.
Now, to get this pizza started, we got to make a crust. Now, if I haven't highlighted, you want a crust that's not going to raise your glucose. All right, well, this is a 2-ingredient crust. Ingredient number 1, we're going to use extra virgin olive oil. Yes, sir. If you're going to fry, your best bet is olive oil or canola oil. We're going to use olive because it's probably the most preferred out of the two. But seeing we're doing an Italian-style dish, it does give it a little more flavor. All right. Now, here comes the crust. That's right, a flour tortilla wrap. But this is the carb balance. Now, what's nice about these, though they have 19 grams of carbohydrates in it, it also has, let me make sure you have 15 grams of fiber. Plus, they got 5 grams of protein. So, we can cook with this and feel pretty good. When we have tacos, I use these. I got to try those ones that was made with spinach. I think it'd be better. I don't know for pizza crust, but for tacos. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a skillet at a medium heat and put some olive oil, and we're going to put it in the skillet just like this. All right, now we got the olive oil heating up real good, and it's time to put your tortilla shell in. That's all you're going to do. We're just going to fry this booger. Okay, now you're going to ask, how long does it take to cook? Well, usually about 1.5 to 2 minutes per side. What you don't want to do is get it crispy. What you want to do is fry it long enough on both sides to stiffen it up, okay? Because the tortilla shell by itself is pretty flimsy. It's going to flop all over it. And then you try to put pizza toppings on that, it ain't going to work out. No. So we're frying it in olive oil. And we're going to let that go for a few minutes. Then we're going to flip it. And then once we're done doing that, we're going to take some paper towel and just dab it off and get the excess off oil. And then we'll start putting on our toppings, just like this. Now, I got done frying. This is what it should look like. Remember, it's all floppy? That's how it got a little browner than the other side. Well, that's all right. About 2.5, 3 minutes, It just depends because you're not really looking to fry this. You just want to get it to where it's like this. It's stiff. That's it. All right. Nice part about making this is like all things, it takes about the same amount of time to make one of these as it does to make a frozen pizza, and it tastes a whole lot better. All right. Well, we're going to just start making it like we normally do. I'm going to use some ragu pizza sauce. Now, if you prefer a different sauce, this stuff has not done much that I have seen to get concerned about. Plus, you got to remember, this is an 8-inch tortilla shell. So you're getting like a personal pizza anyhow, thin crust. And I'll allow you to govern how much you want. Now, you don't have to do it this way. There's other ways of doing this. You could have one with some barbecue sauce. Yes, sir, they make a sugar-free barbecue sauce. It's actually not too bad. Maybe I'll do one of these pizzas with that and make a barbecue chicken pizza. Actually, barbecue chicken pizza sounds kind of good, too. And I'm just going to get it out there and just do it like you do a normal. Now, you may feel that that's too much sauce. You know what? Do what you feel is best. All right. We're done with that. Let's get this out of the way. The next step I'm going to do is something that ain't going to add nothing but just flavor, and that's good old Italian seasoning. And I'm going to get generous with the Italian seasoning. Oh, yes, sir. Get some flavor in there. The next step I'm going to do is just Kraft Parmesan and Romano cheese. I kept trying to find a fat-free Parmesan. Come to find out, when you look on the back of the label, you don't really need this. This don't have a whole lot of fat in the first place. But we're not going to add a ton, or at least try not to. Sometimes this thing does good, sometimes it don't. And we're going to put some, you see what I'm saying? It just started dumping, and then the next minute clogged up. Good Lord, that's enough. All right. The next thing I'm going to put on here is turkey pepperoni. Yes, sir. It's actually not bad. I like this stuff. Now, a suggesting size, I do believe on this, is like 30 slices. We're not putting 30 slices on it. So you're cutting down a lot of the other fats and cholesterols that do come in traditionally all meats. But me and turkey is a little leaner. So we don't have to get crazy with the pepperoni. I'm going probably about, that 9 slices would be good enough. I'm going to add other stuff, yeah. All right. So the next one thing I'm going to add, 1 Jimmy Dean pre-cooked turkey patty, which is going to give you a lot of sausage on there. Now, mind you, I'm not even using the suggested amount that's on the package, which means I'm using less, but I'm still getting my proteins and what you need to help keep your sugar regulated and not increase fat to harm yourselves. What's a pizza? Well, a little veggie. I got some green onion and green pepper here I pre-diced. I put this in my salads. I love it. Oh, yeah. With the vegetables, you can always get generous. Just make sure you get the right kind of vegetables. Oh, yes, sir. Let's make this good. And the last ingredient, fat-free mozzarella from Kraft. I'm not sure if any other company makes a fat-free mozzarella outside of Kraft. If they do, let me know. I wouldn't mind finding something maybe of a cheaper alternative, but cheaper doesn't always mean better either. That's right. Get some with cheese that fell off in there. Now, we're to the baking stage. What we're going to do is I got a small toaster oven, and I'm going to put it on broil. You want to broil this, you don't want to bake it. Broil, broil, broil. Now, mine only goes up to 450. They recommended when I found this recipe 550. But my toaster oven does a pretty good job. What you want to see is, and the cooking time will vary, everything, the cheese is melted. Now, low-fat mozzarella doesn't melt as good as regular fatty mozzarella. So you'll have to keep an eye on it. And we'll be back with the end result, just like this. Now, while we're waiting for the pizza, I took my sugar readings. It's a little higher than I normally have for some reason, but it's probably because I skipped breakfast. But I'm right now running at a 132. And then later, we'll show you after I eat it. So let's get to the cutting of this pizza. All right, it's done now. Now, this is about as good as it's going to get, melty-wise. But look at that. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Well, we're done baking this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this for lunch. And we'll be back in a couple hours to give my next sugar reading for you. Of course, it'll only take you about this long. All right. Now, it's been a couple hours. I'm testing her right now, as you can see. And we're at 121. Okay. Now, does that mean this pizza reduced my glucose? No, it just means I finally ate like I should have done in the first place. Leave it to me to do something. But yeah. Anyhow, it did not really spike my sugar, because generally this is about the number I run at on average. So, is this a keeper or loser? Well, let's just say. Yeah. All right, as you saw, now my sugar runs about around 110 to 120, somewhere around that area. So for it to come down wasn't real shock. Finally got something in my stomach and all that good stuff. Now, this recipe is universal. You could swap it out for barbecue sauces like sugar-free barbecue sauce, or maybe you like hot wing sauce. You know, you need to check into them, make sure it's something you can have. So you got a lot of room to work with it. The ingredients are simple: olive oil and a mission carb balance tortilla shell. Now, if you feel like, well, what about us that don't have to worry about it? Feel free to use regular product. This recipe is very flexible, so enjoy. Now, with this pizza, I do recommend having like a salad with a good green leafy salad. Yeah, you can't beat it because Italian salads are just like peas and carrots. Yeah, Forrest, don't run. Anywho, well, thank you guys for joining us today. Keep a weathered eye. We got more episodes on football, foods. This next part, we're going to dive into more of beverages, as well maybe some other things. So, until then, we want to give you, our audience, a big O!
Salute!
Brought to you by Low IQ Production.